I can introduce Elen and then we'll get started. Ash, the ball is in your court now. It's starting.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining today's session on conditional formatting, a topic which is very important in data visualization and making our spreadsheets more insightful and impactful. It's my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Ellen Sir, who is a corporate trainer and has an hands-on experience in this area. Sir has worked extensively with data-driven tools and analytics, and he has an experience of transforming raw numbers into meaningful visuals. I try to attend each and every session of him. So may it be Power Query, uh, VBA, Power Pivot, etc. So whether it is highlighting key trends, identifying outliers, or simplifying complex data sets, Sir knows how to make data speak. In today's session, Sir will guide us through practical techniques, real-world examples, and best practices that can take our data presentation skills to the next level. Please join me in welcoming Sir to the virtual stage.
Right, so thanks Aishwarya for your words and preparation. I really appreciate that. So without further ado, I'll get started. So my dear friends, can you see my screen? If you can see me and you can hear me, just type number 1 and number 2 in the chat box. So if you can see the screen, just type number 1. And if you can hear me, just type number 2 in the chat box. Okay, so in the chat box, you can type number 1 and number 2 if you can hear me and see the screen. So like what Aishwarya mentioned, today's topic will be conditional formatting. But conditional formatting is not only available in Excel, it is also applicable in Power BI as well. But we need to deep dive and understand what is conditional formatting. When you talk about conditional formatting, we can decode it. So I'll break down. Condition means is like a requirement. It's basically like a criteria. All right. And then the next word is formatting. When you talk about Excel, formatting means coloring. Like when you go to school, whether kindergarten or primary school, of course, there is coloring. In Excel, when we format a data, it means we are coloring a data. So conditional formatting is basically you are coloring a data according to a condition, a requirement, a criteria, and so on. So in this particular case, normally what is the criteria? So now let us deep dive. But before we deep dive, we need to understand why employees, interns, or even you can use in your portfolio. You see here, the conditional formatting, just now I talk about the what. But now let's talk about the why. You see, first thing is, it's because we want to understand the data. Because if just say a data is so plain, it's very hard for us to decode and understand. Secondly is to analyze the data. When you do conditional formatting, it will enhance your analysis, can see the patterns, can see the coloring, can see the trending. Lastly is for presentation. All of us, if we work, we do have employees, clients, stakeholders, investors, shareholders. So if just say we want to present our data, we can actually decode the numbers and show a better analysis to our manager. So now let's get started. Let us understand how we can apply conditional formatting. Okay, so now if you look over here, we do have a data. So I have many parts, but I will show you the exciting part and I can show you how you can apply on your work. So first, let us decode this. If you see here we have a monthly data from January to December. We do have RM. Of course, RM in Malaysia means Ringgit Malaysia. Of course, you can put in your currency as well, maybe INR, Indian rupees. But now the point is, we need to actually understand the trend. That means if over here, any number less than 0, I want to put it as red color. Meaning to say in this data over here, if just say the data is less than 0, okay, if just say a data decrease or less than 0, I want to put it as red color. If just say the data is greater than 0, okay, or more than 0, I want it to put as green color, okay. So what I do is, you see here, the step number 1 is I need to actually determine my criteria. Step number 1, determine the criteria. If you have a work or your office work, you need to know what is the requirement, what is the criteria. Step number 2 is you need to actually highlight the data, highlight the numbers or highlight the text. So in this case, I'm going to highlight all this. Okay, so I'm going to highlight all this. And then step number 3 is I will actually use my mouse and I click home, conditional formatting. Okay, so now let me show you the basic one. This is a very simple, but let's get started. Step number 1, I already determined the criteria. That means any number less than 0, I will put it as red color. Any number that is more than 0, I'll put it as green color. So I know the criteria. I need to highlight the data. You highlight the data, you go to home. Under home, we have conditional formatting. So my dear friends, can you type number 3 in the chat box if you can see there is a conditional formatting over here. So conditional formatting, what you do is you use your mouse and click it over here. We have so many things, but let me start with the simple one. The simple one is highlight cell rules. So just say I want to know less than 0. So highlight cell rules, I use the word less than. So I click less than here. So what? Less than 0. So less than 0, it will be red color. I press OK. So anything less than 0, it will tell you that it is red color. Now greater than 0 is green color. So conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, greater than, and I put greater than 0, but I don't want red color. I want green color. So I click here, I put green color and I press OK. So now you might be wondering, why do employees need to emphasize on this conditional formatting? You see here, initially it is actually a blank white color cell. But when you have conditional formatting, your manager, when he see a data, he can get an understanding and an analysis. Because you see here, in January, we have about 45,000. In February, we have about 39,000. That means there is a reduction. This red color indicates the data has been reduced or decreased. However, over here, we notice that from 39,000, it has increased to 21%, reaching 47,000. So the green color means it is increased. So you can use conditional formatting for data analysis and data storytelling. Okay, so now my dear friends, can I proceed to the next part? If I can proceed, can you type number 4 in the chat box? So I'll just go to part 2. Okay, so you can type number 4 if you can proceed to the next part. Okay, but if just say you have any questions and so on, you can just type in the chat box, and maybe later at the end of the session, you can unmute and you can ask me. Okay, so now I'm going to go to another topic. So this one is in Malay. Okay, English, Math, Science. In Malay, the word is sejarah, but if I were to translate in English, it means history. Okay, so now if you look here, we have a list of subjects, we have the respective students. So a tutor, a lecturer, a teacher, he wants to know the performance of students. Anyone who gets more than 80, we put it as green color. Anyone who get less than 40, we put it red color. And then anyone who is between 41 and 79, we put it as yellow color, indicating that person is average or the subject is difficult. So now what I'm going to do is, you see here, like I told you, step number one is determine the criteria. So step number 1, you determine your criteria. I'm going to put here step number 1, determine the criteria. Step number 2 is you highlight the numbers. We are not going to highlight everything. We are not going to highlight this because I don't want to format the names and the subject. I want to format the numbers. Control Shift down, Control Shift right. That's a keyboard shortcut. Control Shift down arrow, Control Shift right arrow. Step number 3 is click the conditional formatting. You see here, I want more than. So highlight cell rules, greater than. So if you see here, greater than what number? Greater than 80. I put here 80 and what color? Green color. So what I'll do is I will select the green color. So I select green color and I press OK. The next thing is I still highlight because sometimes some of my clients, they make a mistake. They put it over here and then they go straight away to conditional formatting. That is not correct. You need to make sure you highlight all these numbers first and less than. So less than means conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, less than. So when I click less than, then I want to put less than 40. So 40, enter. And just like that, we can understand the data. And last one is 4179. So conditional formatting, if 41 and 79 means the word is between. So I click here between 41, 79 and yellow color. And just like that, we can understand the data. So you might be wondering, why do employees use conditional formatting? First thing is to understand the data. You see here, when I look initially this is our report. But when you have conditional formatting, you can actually understand. When I say understand means, you can understand what is the difficult subject, what is the strong subject, how is the performance of each individuals. You can also analyze who is the top performer and so on. And of course, some beginners, they ask me, okay, of course, at one point, I'm also a beginner. So some beginners, they ask me if just say I change the number. For example, 86 here, I change to just say 36 and I press enter. So even if you change a number, you will notice that it will reflect accordingly. And over here, so if just say I change this to just say 56 and enter, you will notice that it will be reflected automatically. That's the beauty of conditional formatting. You do not need to redo. So anything you change, it will reflect automatically. So some of them, they ask me, how I can analyze a data? Well, you can see here which subject is difficult, and you can also provide a storytelling. A storytelling means, you see here, this person name is Messi. Even though his name is Messi, but his marks are very, very messy because it's less than 80, it's mostly less than 40. So you can actually provide the story behind the numbers. So this is why do employees, lecturers use conditional formatting to understand the numbers and to analyze the numbers. All right. So just yeah, it's something like heat map actually. But later I can show you a better version. You'll see, you'll be mesmerized when I show the next example actually. Right. So now I'm going to go to part 3. So just type number 5 in the chat box if you are with me. Okay. So I'm going to go to the next part. Okay, this one will do 2 different conditional formatting. Okay, so thank you for typing number 5. So now just say I want to format the word that contain or that has MAN. Because sometimes when you work in sales, there are status like pending. There are status which is completed. So you want to know if the word has the word pending, the word has the word completed, it must change color. So step number 1 is you must know what is your criteria. Whether it's formatting a red color or formatting blue color and so on. So this case, step number 1, I know my requirement is the word has MAN. The second thing is I need to highlight these numbers because I like to highlight this text. Here we have list of words. So I actually want to figure it out. Okay, like which word has the word MAN? Okay, the word here is has, contain, consisting, comprising. So I go to conditional formatting, highlight cell rules. We have the word here called text that contains. So contain means it has, it is comprising. So I'm going to click it over here and I want to type here MAN. So I type MAN, and if just say you don't want red color, yellow color, green color, you're a big fan of blue color. So you go to custom format and you can actually choose blue color. So there are so many blue colors over here. So up to you. Which one you find it professional, you can change accordingly. So maybe I can choose this and maybe I put the font as white color. So it's up to you. And I put bold and I press OK and OK. So automatically, if just say you don't like the standard red color, yellow color, and green color, you can do your own custom formatting. And the interesting part is, just say I put the word here, os man. You'll notice it changes to blue color. I put here post man. It changes to blue color. Or maybe Spider-Man. It changes to blue color. So meaning to say, when you put the word, you make some changes, it will reflect accordingly. But now there is a question. The question is, what if just say I want to format the word that begins with MAN. Okay, you see here, now we have already highlighted the data that has the word MAN, like a postman, Spider-Man, Manchester. But unfortunately, your manager changed his mind. Your manager said that he wants to format the word that begins with MAN. So in this case, what I want to do is I need to do editing. In conditional formatting, if you want to edit, what you need to do is you need to highlight the data first. First step is highlighting the data. Second step is you go to conditional formatting. Over here, there is a word called manage rule. Always remember, manage rule is always used for editing. Again, I repeat, if just say you want to manage rule, you want to edit, you go to manage rule. So my dear friends, can you type number 6 if you can see manage rule? So normally, if you want to edit, you want to customize, you go to manage rule. For advanced part, you go to new rule. But for the editing part, you go to manage rule. So you click it over here, you click it edit. So what I want the word begin with MAN. Okay, it's not consisting, not containing, not has, but begin with. So here the word is containing. Instead of containing, I can choose the word beginning or I can choose the word ending. It depends on how you play around. So my requirement is begin with. So I choose beginning with, I press OK and I press OK. And just like that, if just say you put, just say I put here Man Sing, it changes to blue color. If just say I put here Iron Man, it doesn't change. Why? Because this one contains the word MAN. But this one here, it begins with MAN. So that's the catch actually. Okay. But now, okay, now you understand. But now normally who or which employees, what conditional formatting they will use? Basically, sometimes they want to know, just say the top 3 or top 5 data. Like for example, I highlight over here, I want to know the top 3 data. So I can go to conditional formatting. Over here, there's a word called top bottom rules. This is for the percentage allocation, but I want to know basically for the top 5, top 10 items. So I click it over here. I click it over here. So here will show me what are the top 10 items. But I don't want 10. Instead, I want 3. So will show me the 3 largest item. And if just say you don't like other colors, you don't like this standard one, you want to choose your own, up to you. So I can just go here, I put here bold, fill, and I put here gold color and press OK. And just like that, you will see this is a different color. So if just say I put a different number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and enter. So now it will reflect accordingly. So now your manager can see who is the highest and who is the lowest. All right, so can you type number 7 in the chat box if we can proceed to the next part? Okay, so I'm going to go to the next part. Okay. So you have any questions, you can actually type down in the chat box, but maybe after the session end, you just unmute and just let me know like what you don't understand or how I can repeat or how I can help you. All right. So if you remember initially, I wrote that we use conditional formatting to understand and to do analysis, but sometimes we also can use conditional formatting to perform presentation. Meaning to say, right now what I'm going to do is I want to highlight this data. And I want to show a presentation. Like just now, Aishwarya got typed in the chat box, heat map. So I go to conditional formatting. I'm going to select the color scale. You see here, the word color means color. That means can be blue color, yellow color, green color. The word scale means is a measurement. A measurement based on a particular color. Color scale means, okay, color we know, it can be blue color, yellow color, red color. Scale means is a measurement according to a color. So you can choose any color you want. Alright, so I'm just going to choose the first one. So green, yellow, red, what does it mean? If a number is big, just say this one, the highest number is 72. So 72 is green color. Over here, the lowest number is 6. 6 is red color. So when you notice here, the word here color scale means it makes a measurement according to a color. That means if just say green color means it's the highest. Yellow color means it's in between or average. But red color means if you see here all this is a bit reddish, it means it indicates that the numbers are lesser. Alright. So now how I want to show a presentation to my manager. I'm going to press here right click. You can actually right click on any of the numbers. Over here, there is a word called sort. So my dear friends, can you type number 8 if you can see the word called sort? Okay, so over there is a word called sort. Just type number 8 if you can see the word sort. Okay, and thank you Aishwarya for typing number 8. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press largest to smallest. And just like that, you will see that this is a presentation or a heat map that you can share to your manager. Because your manager can see, okay, this green color indicates highest, this one indicates lowest. Now, what if just say your manager don't like green color? What if just say your manager don't like red color? Because in real corporate world, I mean, of course, you can put in your portfolio that you have prepared this. But in a real corporate world, there will be politics and there will be sometimes preferences because the company logo is red color or the company logo is yellowish green. So your manager might have some comments. So if just say your manager makes some comments to change color, of course, you can't change your manager, but you can change the color. So what we do is we highlight all this. Why? Because our manager is not happy with the colors. So you go to conditional formatting. Over here, there is a word called manage rule. Manage rule is where we always edit. Always remember, if you want to do editing, you go manage rule. If you want to clear, you go to clear rule. So I want to edit, so I go to manage rule. So what I want to do is I click here edit rule. Like I told you, if your manager don't like red color, you can change here. If your manager don't like green color, you can change here. But what I want to show you right now is instead of 3 color scale, I want to show you icon set. So I'm going to click on icon set and instead of percentage, I'm going to change this number. On your right hand side over here, instead of percent, I choose here number. And this number over here, I want to put it maybe here 50. Over here is 25. And I don't want this circle. Instead, I can choose anything I want. Up to you. Which one you like, you choose. Which one your manager like, you can choose. I'm going to put here gold star. And yeah, this one you can choose any format you want. And this one I'm going to put red cross. So any number which is greater than 50 will have a star. Less than 50 or more than 25 will be graph. Less than 25 a cross. And okay, just like that, you'll see now a difference. So if just say I put the number here 35, you'll see there's a graph. If just say I put here 7, you'll notice a difference. So the purpose of conditional formatting is not only to analyze a data, but also can tell a story, can provide a presentation. So when a manager can see, okay, manager can get the gist or some understanding on how the data looks like. All right, so now let us go to part 5. So if I can proceed, can you type number 9 in the chat box, because this is more to presentation. Okay, thank you, Aishwarya. How about others? Okay, so now what I'm going to teach you all is I'm going to teach you all conditional formatting. So I'm going to highlight these numbers over here and I'm going to paste it over here. So I'm going to copy and paste. And then what I want to do is I want to show a presentation. So I go to conditional formatting and I'm going to go to data bars. So just now I teach you first highlight cell rules. Then I got tissue top bottom. I got tissue color scale. I got also tissue icon set. Now I want to focus on data bar. Up to you, any color you want, you choose. So I already choose this color. So we have a graph and the number. You see, in life, even if we make effort, there is a possibility your manager or your colleague may make comments. Of course, even if we make effort, sometimes will not be appreciated. It's normal in corporate world. So now in this context is why I'm saying this such statement, because you made an effort to
Ellen,
make
one
a
sec.
graph.
Ellen, one sec. I think we're going too fast.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Arun, for this thing. Just let me know if I'm going too fast. So, my dear friends, are you all with me? Maybe you can type number 1 in the chat box if you're with me. Okay, so thank you, Abhishek. Okay, thank you. Okay, so now why I say the statement, because you see, you made a graph. You made an intention that you want to make a graph and you want to show to your manager. But your manager, your top management, they will make a comment. They will say, you see, there is a graph, there is a number. There is a graph, there is a number. And some managers, they can be so outspoken. They will say that these numbers are confusing. They want to remove the numbers because it's very hard to understand. So now if they say how we want to remove numbers, because here we have the bar chart, we have the number. We have the bar, we have the number. We don't want the numbers. How we want to remove? Okay, if you want to do editing or you want to change anything, you need to highlight first. Once you highlight, like I told you, you go to conditional formatting, you go to the word called manage rule. Manage rule is always the place where we do editing. Always remember this. Manage rule is where you do editing. You go manage rule and you click here and then you click on editing. So the purpose is right now you have already made an effort to show a graph, but your manager don't like the number because it's very confusing. So what we do is we want to remove the numbers. How to remove the number? Go to show bar only. So my friends, can you type number 2 if you can see the word show bar only? Can you see this? Thank you, Aishwarya. How about others? So I'm going to click this. Okay, so any color you want, you can change. Okay, and I'm going to press OK, and I'm going to press OK. And just like that, now we have removed the numbers. But now let me show you another presentation. So I'm going to press here right click. You can actually select any number or select any graph, right click. In your mouse, we have left click and we have right click. So we press right click. When we press right click, can you type number 3 in the chat box? If you can see, there's a word called here sort. Sort means it will arrange the data. Can you see this? Okay, thank you, Abhishek. And I'm going to press largest to smallest. And just like that, if you notice, you have a presentation over here. So the purpose of conditional formatting is not only for us to understand or to analyze, but we can also present this data to our client, to our top management, so that when they see, they are not only looking at the numbers, they can have an understanding how's the performance and so on. Okay, so now this is part 5. Let's go to part 6, just to do the real working world, because the real working world is I want to show to my manager. My manager wants to understand how's the performance of each employee. Okay, so yeah, this is all the employees from Africa, because all these are African location, and we have this insurance claim, and yeah, this is in RM. So I'm going to show pivot table. In one class I got teach pivot table, and I'm going to show you again. So I'm going to press Ctrl A so that it will highlight entire table, and I go to insert, I go to pivot table, and I'm going to press OK. So when I press OK, so now you have this report over here. So what I'm going to do is I want to see the performance of each insurance claim. So what I do is I'll take the date over here so that it will show you January up to December. And I want to take the RM. So now it shows me the RM and so on. But I want to drop the RM one more time so that we have another RM over here. This RM is dedicated for the numbers. This RM is just to show the trending. So what I'll do is, in order to show the trending, I'm going to press here right click, and I'm going to put here show value as and percentage difference from, because I want to show whether it's increase or decrease. I click it over here, and instead of Jan, I'm going to put here previous, and I'm going to press OK. So it will show me the trending actually. So if just say January is 45, February is 39, that means there is a reduction. March, 47,000, that means there is an increase. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all this, and I'm going to show the simple conditional formatting, what I taught you all earlier. Home, conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, greater than. So greater than 0, because I want to know who increase. So greater than 0, okay, I want to put it as green color so that my manager understand any increase, it indicates that green color. And the same thing for red color as well. So anything that's a reduction or less than 0, I put it as red color, less than 0. And I press OK. So now your manager can see, okay, so this one is maybe the claims. And this is maybe I just put RM or trending. So can. So your manager can understand. When your manager look on the data, your manager can actually understand what is the report and so on. Let me just change this to a different color. You can change any color you want. Maybe I'll just choose a simple one actually. Okay, or maybe let me just change again. Okay, so this one, anything you want, anything you prefer, you can choose. Maybe I'll just choose a simple one. Okay, just like this. So we have the claims and we have a trending. But now your manager wants to know the performance of each insurance claim. Over here, there is a word called type of insurance claim. So my friends, can you all see the type of insurance claim? If you can see this, can you type number 4 in the chat box? So what I want to do is, I want to show a magic to you all. So I'm going to drag this. I'm going to select and drag this and put it over here. So once I put it over here, so like I told you, the purpose of conditional formatting is to understand, to analyze, and present the data. You see, there are many types of insurance: company insurance, family insurance, individual insurance. So for company insurance, how does it works? So if you look here, company insurance, when we look at the track record, so we can understand that, okay, when we put it over here, just say on December, uh, company has reduction, family has reduction, but individual is doing well. But if we talk specifically on September and October, we notice that all the insurance claim has a reduction. And we can notice that on the month of March, there is an increment. So the purpose of conditional formatting is it will give you an indication and understanding and analysis, and more importantly, a presentation to your stakeholders. So my friends, do you understand? If you understand, can you type number 5 in the chat box? How you can actually apply conditional formatting? Okay, so this is actually how you can use conditional formatting actually. Okay, but if you don't understand, Amai, later you can unmute and then you can ask me, I can repeat for you. Okay, all right, so now this is the thing. Now let us go to part 7 to understand how we can actually apply in a real working world. Sometimes we can actually integrate conditional formatting and pivot table. So I'm going to press Control A. This is a table where we have a retailer, state, city, product, and also the profits. Okay, I'm going to go to insert and I'm going to click pivot table. And then I'm going to press enter and there you go. So now I want to know the top 10 performing cities. So I'm going to take the city and I just want to take, just say the profit. Okay, so now we have all this, but I don't want all the cities. My manager wants top 10. So I can just click it over here, value filter. I want top 10. So I click here top 10 and I press OK. So now we have the top 10 companies, top 10 cities which has the highest operating profit. And I want to show in a better way. Instead of this numbering is very not in the proper sequence, I want to actually sort. Right click here. There is a word called sort. Sort largest to smallest. So now your managers can get an understanding who is number 1, who is number 2, and who is number 10. And to make things more exciting, I'll just put the operating profit over here. I'll just highlight all this. Okay, now we have this profit to show the numbers. Over here is show to show the graph actually. So go to home, conditional formatting, data bar. You can choose any color you want. Okay, but if you don't want the numbers, you go to conditional formatting, manage rule. Because I don't want the numbers, manage rule is to edit. And I click the edit rule. I click show bar only. And then you can choose any color you want. And you press OK and OK. And just like that, this is the data. So here what you can do is you can actually put here the profit. And then here you can put is the performance. If you want to change colors, you can. So I'll just change to a better color. Well, up to you actually. So you can choose this. So this is how you can show to your manager. Okay, maybe if you say you don't want the grand total or so, you can just put here off. So now your manager can see the performance actually. So my friends, do you understand how you can apply conditional formatting? So conditional formatting is just not about coloring only. You can also use to understand, to analyze, and present data. So can you type number 6 if you understand, you know how to apply for your work? Okay, so I'll just go to the final part. Final part, if I can be very honest with you, this one is not applicable to work, but you can show some magic to your manager. Okay, because conditional formatting also got the advanced part. What I covered is now is just the beginner level. We also have the advanced part. So what I want to show is, let me just write it down over here so that you can see clearly. So basically, I want to show to my manager, because here we have the countries, here we have the continents, here we have the population as of 2021. So what I want to show to my manager is, I want to show the top 5 data or maybe top N data using conditional formatting. So how I want to use a top M data using conditional formatting? Okay, this is where things get little interesting. So let me just show you how we're going to apply it. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to use a formula called the large formula. Okay, so I'm going to write here top. Okay, I'm going to use a formula called large formula. Okay, so equal first, I'm going to select this particular cell. Okay, and I'm going to lock, because this one, if you know conditional absolute reference is whereby we press the F4 button, or in some laptop is the function F4. So I'm going to press one time so that it will lock the cell, but I'm going to press another twice, second time, third time. Why I press second time? So that the dollar sign is located before the C. Why I must do that? Because all our data over here, if you see here carefully, all this information is located in column C. So I want to lock the column C data. So I'm going to put here equal, select this information. I press the F4 button 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then I want to put what? I want to put greater than. Shift dot equal. So if you want to do top 10, you use the formula called large. So there is a formula called large. We can use for top 10, top 5, and so on. So I'm going to click it over here. The word here, when you click large, here we have two arguments, array and k. Array means area. In Excel, the word array means area. So what area I want to see the top 10? I want to see this area over here, this information. So these numbers over here, I need to press the F4 button. So when you press F4, some people will use the word lock. That means they will have a $2 signs over here. And I'm going to put here comma. And then what I'm going to do next is, I want to know the top N data. So the K means whether it's top 5, top 10 or anything. So here I'll put it over here and I'll place it over here, and I'm going to lock this and close bracket and enter. So now you might be wondering, what is error? So you just say I put here 5, of course it shows true. But we don't want the word true. What we want to do is, we want to highlight all this. I'm going to cut this and I'm going to highlight all these words over here. Conditional formatting. Okay, I will repeat one more time so that you can understand. New rule. And then I'm going to use a formula. Normally for advanced level, they will use a formula. And I'm going to paste it over here. Just now I copy. So now I paste. I go to format. I'm going to select gold color. I put the font as black color and bold. And I press OK and OK. And just like that, now you notice you will have a data over here. So let me just expand this so that everyone can see. So now if just say I put here number 10, you see 10 data, top 10. If I put here 2, top 2, 3, top 3. Okay, so some laptop, if you notice in your Excel file, you might either have developer or you won't have developer. For those who don't have developer, don't worry. Over here in Excel, sometimes in some laptops will already have developer. In some cases, if you open your Excel file, you will notice you don't have developer. Don't worry. What you can do is, you can right click any of the ribbons over here. We call this as ribbons or tab. We can right click over here. When we right click, we can go to customize ribbon. We go to customize ribbon under a section called customize ribbon, because when you click customize ribbon, a box will appear. Under customize ribbon, what you can do is, you can actually enable the developer, because normally for some laptops, they don't have developer. So they need to tick this. Once they tick this, then they can press OK. So you might be wondering why I'm teaching this topic unnecessarily. Well, I have a clue here. You see here, under developer, we have this box called insert. Can you see insert? If you can see insert, can you type number 7 in the chat box? Can you see this? Okay, under insert, we have form control. Under form control, we have the fourth icon. You see here, insert form control, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. So I tell 4. 4 means spin button. I'm going to click over here and I draw here. Okay, so I'll just put it over here and I'm going to press right click. Right click, when you press right click, the last section is called format control. When you click format control, a box will appear. So the change, I want to put 1 and I want to put the cell link is over here. Cell link over here. Current value is 0. Maybe I change the current value to 1. Okay. So current value 1, cell link is this particular cell, C6. I'm going to press OK. So yeah, it shows 1. But now let me show you the magic. Here we have up arrow, down arrow. When I press up arrow, top 2, top 3, top 4, 5, and yeah. You can actually play around or you can play like this. Okay, this one is actually, if I can be very honest with you, this one, I don't really remember, can't recall any companies applying this. Okay, maybe this one is just to show off the magic trick. But if you talk about reality speaking, because when company deals with supermarket, aging report, revenue report, it's very, very rare I see employees using this. Because the real practical world, it will be something like this. Real practical world will be something like this. But this one here is just to maybe to get you the gist what conditional formatting can you. Yeah, so like what Aishwarya said, there's a magic. Yeah, but if I can be very upfront, I can't recall any companies using this. Okay, so we need to be practical because we learn Excel so that we can apply in our work, we can get good KPIs, we can get bonus, you can be portfolios, and you can grow in your career. So, but this project, I don't know. Okay, but maybe if you want to show to your manager, maybe like how's the performance, your manager can understand. Okay, so just say you're lost. Okay, don't worry. Even at one point also, I was lost. So what you can do is actually, I'll just show you. Okay, wait, let me just go over here. So whatever I got tissue is actually available over here. Because if you see here, there is a word called using conditional formatting to determine the top 5 data. So whatever I tissue is actually over here. So I got tissue the steps where I highlight the data. I use the formula of large formula. It's over here. But if just say you lost, you don't want to see this video, you actually want to get an understanding, how I did is, first and foremost, okay, now let me just show you again how I did it. I want to delete this, let me cut this one, I'll remove all this, I go to home, conditional formatting, let me clear rows, let me show you again, so that you understand. Okay, so now my intention is, like I told you, yeah, we can get it. I think I got share in the WhatsApp group. Yeah, I can actually share to you. Wait, let me just close this first. I close this because when I share, sometimes it's there. Okay, wait, I'll share to you one more time. Oh, can't be sent because it's using. Wait, let me just show you one more time. Okay, wait, let me show one more time. Okay, there you go. So it's already here. I'm sending to you. So you can actually have a look. Okay, this is the new file. Or if you want the latest one, I can share to you one more time. So this one I press on, okay, it's first 32 and I'm sending over here. Okay, so this one is the latest one. 1:32 p.m. is the latest one. I'm from Malaysia actually. So Malaysia is about 2 hours 30 minutes later than India. Okay, so I'm going to click it over here. So I got already shared to you in the chat box. You can refer over there. So now let me repeat one more time so that you can get an understanding. What I want to do is I want to use the top end data using conditional formatting. So equal, I select this because I want to know whether this information over here is more than top 10 or less than top 10. So what you need to do is you need to press the F4 button. Okay, I press the F4 button 3 times. 1, 2, 3. When you press the F4 button, because in your keyboard there is a F4 button. Function 1, function 2, function 3, function 4. So the function 4 button I press 3 times so that you have a dollar sign before C. Why before C? Because all this information over here, all the numbers over here is located at column C. So then what I put is I put greater equal because I want to determine if the numbers are actually within the top 10. Okay, so greater equal to. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put here large. Large is a formula whereby it will determine what is the greater than and so on. Okay, top 10 and so on. Array means area. So I highlight all this. I'm going to press here F4, lock, and then comma. I'm going to lock this. Okay, and then close bracket, enter. So we don't want in a formula. Basically what we want is we want to copy this formula and let me highlight all this. Conditional formatting, new rule, and use formula to determine cells. This one is normally for advanced level. Okay, for advanced cases, they normally use this. And let me just go to format and just go over here and press OK and OK. So there you go. But then you may ask me how I put the spin button. You need a developer ribbon. You need to go to insert, spin button. And you just go over here, right click, format control, and I sell the link. Okay, the link cell, I just put it over here. So the incremental change is up to you. You want to change every 2 data or every 5 data, up to you. So maybe I change every 5 and I press OK. So now you see here 0. When I click here up arrow, top 5. When I click here, top 10, top 15, top 20, you can actually play around. So my friends, can you see the magic actually? So what I'm doing right now is actually not a magic, but it's just an Excel trick actually. So if you can see this, can you type yes in the chat box? Yeah, you have top 25 and so on. Okay, but if I can be honest, in real working world, I haven't seen a case like this in the real working world. Real working world will be something like this. This is what a real working world is. A real working world. Yeah, sometimes it's more complex actually. All right, so now I've moved to the final part, the Q&A session. So if you have any questions, feel free to unmute and ask, or you can type the questions in the chat box. Otherwise, I'll pass the session to Aishwarya. So Aishwarya, over to you.
Hi, Ellen.
Yes, go ahead.
Abhishek here.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much for your time. The session is very informative. Thank you very much. I have a question
Mm-hmm.
regarding numbering format. If you look at your part 8 sample,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it is showing in millions, right?
Yes, yes.
So I want to convert that millions into INR format. I mean, instead of separating comma with three numbers,
Mm-hmm.
in Indian format, it's not like that. So I want to convert into Indian format.
Oh. Okay, I got you, I got you. This one is actually you need to go to the control panel, okay? Because I remember this question because some of my clients they have an American format. I'm from Malaysia, so Malaysia we have this format. I know because like 10 lakh, 20 lakh,
Yeah.
1 lakh, right? Yes, I understand. This one you need to go to the Windows. I can't remember when. You need to go to the Windows settings somewhere here, okay, to the computer settings and change to India format. Because like I'm from Malaysia, so my settings will be automatically when I press Control 1 my format will be automatically Malaysianized. So in your case, what I'll suggest to you is perhaps you need to go to the computer settings. I can't remember where, but you can change the settings over here. So in your case, I think in your laptop, it should be fine because since you're from India, I think it will be automated. In my case, it'll be different.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I I tried, but I couldn't find exact.
Okay, wait.
Uh,
I can't remember actually because you need to go to the window time settings, something here. I can't remember.
you need not check right away.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you find time, you please check once and
Yeah, definitely I'll update you.
yeah, let me know. Also, one more question.
Go ahead.
Whenever we apply pivot table on any raw data,
Mm-hmm.
the month sequence sometimes it doesn't show in ascending order. I mean, Jan Feb instead of showing Jan Feb March, it shows ups and down.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there any method to fix this order?
Okay, thanks for your question. Actually, we see sometimes even Power BI, so they can't recognize your data actually because you see sometimes they know that January, February, March, but Power BI and some data they are not able to recognize. So my proposal once is what I'll do is I'll put here Jan, Feb, March, all these things. Maybe I just drag all this down. Okay, so I'll just drag this until December and I put a sequencing like 1, 2, and so on. Because even last week class, because I was teaching in African community last week, so happened their data is it doesn't begins from Jan. The data is begins from June. So in to answer your question, actually, what I'll recommend is you prepare a dummy data. So for example, if you have the values and so on, if just say, okay, let's assume this case, maybe I'll put this data. Okay, our data, let's assume our data begin with the financial year of July because there are companies, their
Yeah,
financial year begins with July.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what I'll do is, okay, maybe I'll just copy here, I'll cut and I'll paste over here and I'll cut this and I'll paste it over here. Okay, so in this case, you make sure you have a dummy table, and then from here, you can actually do a X lookup. We need to say XL. So this is the value. I put here X, comma, column A, and then column H. And then after that, I drag down. So of course, you will see here 47, and you can actually change accordingly. Okay, so if you just see your computer is old version, like 2019, 2016, you can use VLOOKUP. But if you're using like 2021, 2024, or 365, you can actually use XLOOKUP actually. So Abhishek, I think, did I answer your question? Is this what you're referring for?
I mean, it may not give direct answer.
Mm-hmm.
I believe.
Okay,
So
good.
in pivot table, whenever we apply pivot table, depending on financial year followed in that specific country,
Mm-hmm.
I want to see a sequence accordingly. So here
Mm.
we have to do manually again. That's what
I see,
you are
I
recommending.
see. No, because normally pivot table for Power BI, I understand that's an issue because Power BI they recognize the months as text, so it will sort A to Z. But for okay, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Is your data showing dates or the months?
Uh, See, usually it shows date only.
Okay,
We can convert into month using a text
formula,
formula.
yes,
Using
yeah,
text
text
formula,
formula.
we can convert into month. That's
Mm-hmm.
not a problem. Whenever we
Yeah.
apply pivot table, there we usually get the problem.
I see. Okay, now maybe you can actually PM me. You can private message me and you show
Yeah,
me
yeah,
what's
sure.
your rough problem. Then I can just get a picture of it. Because technically, to my best knowledge, if you have a dates, it should work. Yeah, the one you just let me know.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure, sure. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, no worries. Yeah, if you have any questions, anyone else, you can actually type your question in the chat box or you can unmute and you can ask me.
Any questions from the audience? Please ask. Okay, so if there are no further questions, I will wrap the session. And if you have any doubts, you can post it in the COE groups.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for the insightful session on conditional formatting. Actually, the text containing and text beginning, actually, we can highlight those cells. This was something very new for me. And the last part was just magical. Like we can highlight the cells based on the dynamic top N. So I'm sure audience has learned uh, new things from the session. So in the chat box, I have posted two links. First is Learn with Ellen. So sir has his YouTube channel and he posts very informative videos based on Power Query, VBA and Power Pivot. And like sir showed the top end highlighting. And also the second YouTube link is our Center of Excellence COE, where experts deliver these sessions made by Azure, Excel, Power BI. So you can subscribe both the channels, and if you have missed something, you can watch the recording. Okay. So yeah, thank you.